Saturday, March 16th, 2024. Written by Cynthia Vaca Davis. Growing up in evangelical churches, I instinctively knew the rules: think, speak, and do as everyone else in the congregation, and you are welcomed into an inner sanctum of love, known as church family. Having church family offered an illusion of security. It came with perks like a full calendar and a built-in network of people to do life with, provided you operated within the rules. From a young age, I knew the cost of straying outside the perimeters was steep. I'd seen members of church family disappear seemingly overnight, out of the pews, off the calendar, erased from the fold. It's difficult to grow into the most authentic version of yourself when you are steeped in a culture of conditional love. The fear that people will leave if they know the real you slowly dissolves into a pervasive shame, the conviction that you aren't truly worthy. Evangelical church is a hard enough environment for a straight kid to grow up in. I can only imagine the impact that fear and shame has had on countless of my LGBTQIA+ peers. Psychologists tell us that shame is the antithesis of authenticity. Shame tells us to stuff away the parts that don't conform, the ways we see differently. In short, everything that makes us unique and alive. But psychologists also make a distinction between healthy shame and harmful shame, and I think the scriptures in today's liturgy illustrate the point. Psalm 51 chronicles David coming to terms with harm he inflicted on others. His feelings of shame are from a place of self-evaluation and remorse, and that can be healthy if it leads to growth and change, or, in other words, if it ultimately becomes life-giving. By contrast, harmful shame comes to us from the outside. It's put on us by others, often with self-serving intent. In John 12, verses 1 through 11, we see Judas attempting to shame Mary for bathing Jesus' feet in costly perfume. Many believe the perfume was intended to be part of her eventual wedding ceremony. Valued at a year's wages, it's reasonable to assume it was the most valuable item in Mary's possession, and she poured it out freely as a sign of her love and devotion for Jesus. Mary's actions were unprecedented and unorthodox, and Judas's all-too-common response was to denigrate what he did not understand. Evoking the plight of the poor was a way to make Mary's expression of love appear foolish and wasteful. If this was the extent of the slight, it would be bad enough. But the added knowledge that his true concern was not for the oppressed, but for his own stealthy gain, reveals another too common truth. Words intended to shame may say more about the speaker than the intended target. Mary did something unusual and unorthodox. Her expression of love was unique and authentic, and Jesus did not allow it to be criticized, devalued, or to become a source of shame. Jesus' love for us is not tied to conformity or piety. It is rather a place, the only place, where the truest and least orthodox parts of ourselves can thrive.